Okay, good day everyone. Now this time is we're going to um, answer this problem. This is based on the previous video example on how to get the rule of a number. Now this time in relation to that we will be answering now this problem. So the problem is the first row of an auditorium has 17 seats and each row after the first has 2 more seats than the row in front of it. There are 20 rows of seats in the auditorium. So let's start answering the letter A. Write the rule of the number of seats in the nth row by identifying what are the given in the problem. So the given here is the first row, which stands for the A sub 1 or your first term. And then you have the number of seats in the first row is 17. Then each row after first has an additional of 2 more or 2 seats than the in front in front of it. So it is very clear in this video or in this problem that we need that this first row is the first term. Our first term is 17. Then our D is 2 because it added to the next seat or the next row. It added seats, 2 more seats to the next row. Okay, so let's answer the first question, which is write a rule for the number of seats in the nth row. So how do we get that one? So first is let's identify the given. So in order to get the rule of the number, we need to have 2 given, which is the first term and the D, which is here, which is already given in the problem. So our first term is 17, and then our common difference is 2, which it indicates in the problem that has 2 more seats than the row in front of it. So using the general formula of the general term for the arithmetic sequence, we may say that, or we may substitute the first term and the common difference to get the general rule. So how do we do that? So an is equal to 17, and then we have plus the quantity of n minus 1 times the D, which is 2. We just make the substitution. Then again, what we're going to do is to work on the parentheses first. So we just multiply n minus 1 times 2. So by using distributive property, so you can have 17 plus n times 2 is 2n, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then we work on the equation, which is combining like terms. So we know that 17 and negative 2 are like terms because there are real numbers. And then so we have 17 minus 2 is equal to 15, and then plus 2n. So therefore we can say that this is the rule for the numbers of seats in the nth term. So it might be in the first up to the last row, which is the 20th term. So how do we check if that rule is really satisfying the problem? So let's say, for example, since A1 or the first row is already given, let's move on to the second row or to the second term. Now, to get the second term, we need to assume that n is 2. So if n is 2, then we can get the second term, which is the A2. So therefore, by just substituting the value of n to our rule of the number, which is an is equal to 15 plus 2n. So we have here 15 plus 2 times 2 because our n is 2. So therefore, we can say that there are 19 seats in the second row, which is justifiable. It's because our common difference is 2. So the rule of the common difference in the arithmetic sequence is we just add it to the number. Okay, now if we're going to try it, okay, so let's proceed to, and so on and so forth until the, if you want to continue that, so you can continue that. Okay, So, pwede nyo i-continue until the last row, which is the 20 rows. Okay, so now let's proceed to the second problem, or the letter B problem, which is 35 students reserved a row of seats for their exclusive use. Okay, so there are 35 students who just wanted to just sit in a row or in one row. So the problem is, in which row closest to the stage will they all fit, the 35 students? So which row, okay, will they all fit? So what particular row? So using the rule in relation to letter A, so if this is the rule on that problem, or in that particular sequence, an is equal to 15 plus 2n, so we will going to use this one to answer which row closest to the stage will they all fit. Okay, so we got it from the previous problem. So the given there is, we have the first term, or the first row, is equal to 17 seats, and then our common difference is 2. Okay, so remember that they are 35 students. So this 35 students stands for the, okay, the nth term, because we do not know yet what term is 35. Okay, so we are going to get the n term. Okay, the nth term. So what term, what position is 35, 35 seats? Okay, to get that, let's use this given, okay, to get which row does they all fit. Okay, so to substitute that one, our nth term is 35, or a sub n is 35. Then we have 15 plus 2n. Again, we do not know yet what position 35 is, so that's why it's unknown or variable. So using this new equation here, we can now identify the term or the position. Okay, so by just working on the equation. So let's have subtract both sides by 15, or eliminate 15 by subtracting 15 both sides, or just transpose positive 15 to the other side, and it will make negative, or it will subtract to 35. So 35 minus 15 is equal to 2n, and then 35 minus 15 is equal to 20. And 20 is equal to 2n. Now, how are we going to eliminate 2 so that n na lang ang matira dito na side? Is we're going to have an operation, which is division. We divide it by the real number, which is 2. So divided by 2, both sides. So therefore, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So therefore, our n is 10. And we can therefore say that 35 students can all be fitted in the 10th row. Okay, so that's how you're going to answer this problem. Okay, to check if that is correct, using the general term of the arithmetic sequence, is it really on the 10th row that there are 35 seats? Okay, so let's test. So our 10th position is equal to, using the formula of arithmetic sequence, first term is 17 plus our n is 10 minus 1, quantity of 10 minus 1 times 2, our common difference is 2. So let's work on the parentheses. So 10 minus 1 is 9, times 2 is 18, plus 17 is 35. So therefore, 35 is in the 10th row. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you understand this problem. Okay, see you next time. Bye.